She has worked with global companies across technology, engineering, and EPC sectors. Ms. Aga Arvind.
That was my victory. Then everyone, even CEO stepped in of our company and they said, no, over the lawyers we are not going to sign this contract. Then they said, okay, fine, let us have a licensing part of it and we will share the part of license if in case we are developing something exclusively for them.
Absolutely, Ms. Aga. And that story felt like a masterclass in composure under pressure.
Let me tell you, certain areas we need not worry about the AI or bots in legal practice.
Hey everyone, welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Bancholi, and today we are stepping into a world where every word matters, where a misplaced comma can change a contract and clarity is the ultimate power. We are talking about the fascinating universe of corporate law, global contracts, and intellectual property. And our guest today has spent nearly 3 decades mastering this art. From courtrooms to boardrooms, she has been the calm in the chaos, negotiating multi-million-dollar agreements, leading legal strategy across continents, and helping organizations strike the perfect balance between risk and reward. With over, with over 29 years of rich experience spanning IP law, arbitration, corporate contracts, and cross border advisory, she has worked with global companies across technology, engineering, and EPC sectors. Currently, based in the UAE, she is not only a legal and contract consultant for startups, but also a storyteller, author, and influencer, inspiring thousands through her platform, Aga's Ethna Talks, where she shares insights on women empowerment, leadership, and life. Ms. Aga Arvind, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here on FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you, Sunny. And it was a delight to hear about me from another person. And it is encompassing me in those profile which you have already now spoken about me. And I would like to be with you for the next question and answer session, which I hope I will be able to do justice to the viewers over here.
Absolutely. Looking forward to a great conversation ahead.
Thank you.
All right. So, to start with, Ms. Aga, could you share your journey with us in your own words? Maybe just one or two moments that really shaped you, a challenge you had to overcome, and one decision you still look back on with pride?
Yes, I can. If I have to tell you the start of the journey, it started with my B plan. I didn't want to become a lawyer. I wanted to be a doctor. Like a 70 born kid of India, you just want to be a doctor. Everyone, if you ask everyone, you want to be a doctor? Yes, I want to be. So, but I couldn't gain a seat into the medical seats. Those days it was highly competitive with less colleges over there in India. So I had my B plan ready. But my father was upset. He was just asking me, why didn't you burn your ship? First, you have to have a plan A, burn your ship and get into the plan B. I said, no, Papa, I have to have a bridge also to come back. So he was so very, then he said, yes, good, you go to the law school. That is how I started my journey in law school. And coming back to your question of any kind of moment which has shaped your future, yes, it was a bus conductor. Let me tell you that story in a just a one minute story. It is, I stepped into a local bus in Madras, so-called Madras those days. It is Chennai today. So there, after my enrollment to the bar, I was carrying a lot of bundles to the court in a big bag. And I was not that strong enough to carry the bundles. And he just was very abusive and he used a cuss word. He said, hey, ma'am, if you want to be here in this bus, you have to move around. You cannot stand in one position. I was just asking him, please don't touch me because he was just going up and down. He used a cuss word. So that was the moment when I decided if I'm going to the work, I should drive my own car and go. I do have a car at home, but I didn't have money to pour petrol into it. I worked so hard from the next day. I started taking extra assignments from the lawyers who were not able to appear at the court daily. I used to take the extra assignments from them and used to get the money for petrol. There the journey started.
What a beautiful start to this conversation. And, continuing our conversation, you have worked on everything from EPC and technology contracts to intellectual property and arbitration cases across multiple countries. So, what's one negotiation that truly tested you? And what did it teach you about leadership under pressure?
Yes. Here, I don't want to name the company, but let me say they are the big names in Mumbai, based in Mumbai, one of the biggest name. As a rookie lawyer, I had to face a famous law firm for a negotiation. This is my story now. See, one day my senior lawyer, who is a senior VP, he couldn't come along with us to Mumbai. So I was the one who got assigned to this particular project, and I was traveling because I was assisting him. So I knew the entire model and how to go about it. And all the salespersons, they are actually very jubilant because they were just going to bag a contract from this biggest conglomerate of India. And I was just going with them. They were not happy about it at first because they just wanted the senior most person to come with them, and I had to be like see, they were just looking at me as a rookie. So I thought, yeah, this is the time when I have to prove myself. We were there early morning, 9 o'clock. We were there. I to start from Mumbai. It is like a very big journey also to reach the particular destination where the corporate office was. So after the earlier phase of interactions and everything, this contract was about to sign. Then comes the legal part of it. The law firm people are coming in, and they will be coming in, and they'll start negotiating with me. They made us wait till night 9 p.m. We started at 9 a.m. We had other negotiations. I was waiting. They made me to feel very frustrated, and I was in the lowest point when they stepped in. The lawyer in a vibrant, what you say, freshly, he's taken bath, and he was coming with a fresh, what is this, musk or smell all over the room. I was here sitting very, like, I was sweating, and because of my tension, everything, I didn't eat properly, and they started the negotiation. They started the negotiation, and the one point wherein I was literally cornering them. Okay, not me. They were just telling, okay, let us now finish off the contract. So the assignment part is there. Assignment is a word which you have to be very careful in the contract, especially for IP related matters. When I tell you, Sunny, I'm assigning you this work, I'm just giving you some work, right? It is not that in IP contract. In IP, assigning means I am giving this particular technology and selling it to Sunny. If I'm selling this technology to you tomorrow, what am I going to sell the XYZ companies? I have to get a license from this big firm, big corporate, because I'm assigning it to you. See, I'm paying for this. I'm selling this. I said no. Assigning means it is not a work you are going to license me or license you. My company is not going to sell this. We are not selling this technology for this excess amount. This is a license. There comes the victory part of it. Then everyone was looking into the contract. He said that, no, my God. And salespeople were all worried because what will happen if we are signing that contract that day? Tomorrow we are not in business then. We only have this particular, this is our product. This is the one which we are selling to n number of companies. That was my victory. Then everyone, even CEO, stepped in of our company, and they said, no, whoever the lawyers are, we are not going to sign this contract. Then they said, okay, fine, let us have a licensing part of it, and we will share the part of license if in case we are developing something exclusively for them. We should take at least their concern. No, they're concerned about it. No, they because their inputs are also there. So let us go and take the consent. I said okay, and that deal got signed that night, 12 o'clock. That was something which I have did, and it is like I got a hefty bonus also that year because my senior VP was very happy with it. So Sunny, I have to tell you, yeah, my bonus was my like rather than beating those people, the bonus was really hefty. I was like overwhelmed.
Absolutely, Ms. Aga. And that story felt like a masterclass in composure under pressure. The way you
Exactly.
described that negotiation, the tension, the silence, and the strategic pauses, it's almost cinematic.
Exactly. And being a lady, I know this is not a very professional stuff to deliver over here, but I would like to tell you this. I had my periods also those days because 9 to 9 sitting in one place, and it was really that is why the everything was low, my pressure was high, so that made me to think, and I was like see, I have to calm down, I have to calm down. This was the mantra that was going on. If you really step into that empathetical mode of a lady, you will come to know about it. Like because you are a male, I don't know whether you will know the emotions behind it, but it was that. It was highly pressurized contract signing.
But what stands out most is how you turned a moment of confrontation into one of connection. And that's not just legal brilliance, that's emotional leadership in action.
Thank you. Yes, indeed.
Great, great. So, Ms. Aga, you have worked extensively in the IT and software industry, negotiating tech contracts and IP rights. Now, in an age of AI, data privacy, and digital transformation, where do you think legal leaders are getting it wrong? And how can they future proof their practice?
See, for this, I have to tell you, I have to narrate you a story wherein the AI or the bots cannot replace lawyers. You're asking how we have to scale up. Let me tell you, certain areas we need not worry about the AI or bots in legal practice, especially when it comes to the courtroom. It is not easy for the bots to come into it and explain certain things where emotions play really a big role. Certain places where even IP, I'm not talking about any family matters or anything, in IP also, intellectual property comprises of copyrights, patents, and trademarks. For your awareness, I'm just narrating it. Almost everyone knows about it. But when there is a patented technology, if it is a patent which is being sold, you really will have some kind of emotions attached to it if it is a homegrown business. For example, a big mixie company, hand mixer and grinder, they had a big brand name, and the name was, it is the name of their grandmother. So that grandmother's name, they are selling it to some particular big company. I can name the company also here, Philips. So they are selling it, and we are representing the small unit which they had in Chennai, and the lady was weeping. The grandmother who was going to sign it, and it is her name, and she and her husband started it in one particular small shed built in one shack type of a thing, and it has grown into multi-million business. And now that there was fights between her sons, she's selling it. So that was a time when she was weeping. She will not sign the assignment deed. I have had to convince her to be there. She said, no, this is in Tamil, they say that this is a child which I have given birth. So you have to really think about it. Everyone will be thinking, oh, IP law. You have to just only deal with some papers and signing and all. I dealt with this. It took 1 month for me. I had to sit with her. I took her for outing. Have you ever heard about a lawyer taking the client, in the sense the corporate lawyer? Family law, it is there. And let me tell you, because of my family law background, I could deal with that. So coming to your point, when technology is coming into the picture, the bots cannot replace lawyers in any sector like this. If you tell me, even in contracts, the emotions play. Emotions do play, because sometimes the AI chat boxes misses out. Earlier, I told you about assignment. Sometimes, if the non-assignment deed is that particular word is not there, chat box will sometimes miss it up. I have seen the licensing part of it wherein the feeding was not correct. So there should be two eyes always, just to read it again and again. So you need to use the chat boxes for efficiency, because you don't have to sit and write the old age old contracts. They will bring in nice innovative contracts replacing the old English. That is the best of it which I have seen. Old English is not something which is very easy for a common person to comprehend, and but the chat boxes are the answer for it. Everyone can use it and just put the old contract and new one fresh within seconds it is coming. So I really think that, and I took a course in this AI also, and I'm going to attend another conference regarding AI. I was like wherein I used to take 3 days, I took only 15 minutes to draft one particular big contract. That is, you have to adapt to it, but reading it again is a skill. So that skill, it is with a human brain only.
Rightly said, Ms. Aga, and that was such an eye-opening perspective. You managed to turn a complex issue like tech law into something so human, and it's not about rules; it's about responsibility.
Yes, correct.
All right. So moving forward, you have built your career across India and the UAE, two very different environments, and you have also used your platform, Aga's Ethna Talks, to inspire women. So, what's one moment in your journey that made you realize it's time to lead different?
UAE, loss of job. Let me tell you that. India, I was sitting in a pedestal. UAE, I have to come here and learn a lot of things, and I lost the job just because of ego clash. So what I found is that, because I was only having the exposure with certain set of people like lawyers. Okay, when I came to UAE, the kind of people whom I was interacting was also from other world countries, like little bit African region, MENA region, right? So African region people were also there with us, and they were into a fighter mode. Fighter mode in the sense they're good, they're not bad. I'm not telling about that thing, but I was not able to really handle the emotions, because there was a kind of gap. Whatever emotions I was getting from them and what I was giving to them was not at all matching. I don't know. That is a cross border problem with me, which I faced in UAE, because I had the opportunity only to interact with the Americans and Brit people and Europeans in general. Let me tell you, they were a little more inclusive, or they were accommodative. Here, they had the fighter mode in the sense they just wanted to fight and come up, and they had everything like fighting. I was little submissive. Let me tell you, maybe because of my brought up in India and my like submissive behavior towards the Europeans, so I learned to fight after coming to UAE. That I have to tell you very frankly. To find a base and a space, I had to fight for my existence. That made me to start Athena Talks. Athena, as you know, she is the goddess of wisdom. So why I started Athena is that the moment, as you said, a comma will change even the future of a person. You would have heard that a comma kills a man. Same way, this comma killed my job. The lady who was like a supervisor to me, she was complaining that whenever I write an email, after a space, a full stop or a comma is coming. When you do it fast, I think the comma would be just going to one space. Just one comma killed my job, I have to tell you. And I didn't have a space to even go and tell them, this is not what I meant. This is something which a computer, nothing like that. Because when ego plays, comma can also kill a career. So that killed my job over there. And I wanted to really vociferously do something, and wherein My language skills was in Malayalam. English is there, but I think when I come to the emotional level of it, I feel I convey more in my own language, my own mother tongue. So I started Athena Talks in Malayalam, and in that I speak little bit of English so that the ladies who are sitting at home also should come and talk in English, and they should understand English. So that is the main reason why I started Aga's Athena Talk, to empower women and talk about you, and whatever you feel like it is not good for you, you have to come out in public, or maybe it is in your family also. Learn to speak out. That is what I wanted to do through my platform, and I'm doing that.
That was a striking moment to share, Ms. Aga. And you did not present a policy, you brought us into a lived experience. And that's what makes it powerful. And hearing how you translated discomfort into concrete change really underscores why platforms like Aga's Athena Talks matter.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunny.
All right, so we have discussed business, we have discussed IT, and many more things. Now it's time for a rapid fire round. So there no overthinking, just first thing that strikes your mind. So are you up for
Okay.
it?
And spot on.
Okay, great. So here I shoot you with the first question. What's your morning ritual? The one that sets the tone for your day.
Om. I recites Om daily morning. I recites 24 times before I just step out of my bed. Just sit in my bed and just recite Om. That is my first ritual.
Wow, great. If you aren't a lawyer, what do you think you would be doing right now?
I'll become a writer. I'm a writer too, but I will continue writing.
Ah, that was predictable. Okay. Uh, One song that instantly lifts your mood, no matter how stressful the day has been.
Sherry, Sherry lady. That modern talking. That is the one.
Great. Okay. Nice. Next question. What's the best advice you have ever received and who gave it to you?
My senior VP named Ravi Shankar. We were senior VP, he was, and he told me the one advice you have to take care of you is don't walk in like a storm into a room. Just come a little bit. You should just come like a wind, like a breeze. That's the best advice.
Wow. That was amazing. Okay.
Yes.
Next question. Your guilty pleasure when you finally switch off from work.
Buy saris. After work, by coming from the office, I watch this. There is one boutique over there. I will just look at it. Sometimes, if I just step into it, I come with a big shopping cover. That is my guilty pleasure.
All
Shopping
right. Okay. All right. That was nice. A habit or skill you are currently working on improving.
effective communication. I talk a lot, but I understand talking a lot is not effectively communicating. Talking a little bit less and communicate effectively.
Incredible. What's one quote or mantra you live by?
Mantra, what mantra should I say? Um, be yourself.
Okay. And finally, the last question of rapid fire round. If your life were a Netflix series, what would be the title?
Agas Athena talks.
All right, so that was fun. That rapid fire round was really fun. And by this, we come to know the other side of Ms Aga Arvind. Great to know that side. All right, so moving on to the next segment of questions. And my first question is, you have advised global corporations and startups alike. In
Yes.
your view, why is corporate governance and compliance becoming non-negotiable today? And how can organizations make it more than just paperwork?
Indeed, so many places I have seen, they just, even for the audit firms, they just give only whatever they require. Whatever they require, only they will give. They will not give whatever society is requiring from this big conglomerates. Like, for example, if I take a big company in Kerala, Fact, FSCT, you should see that companies. prime time they were like into fertilizers and all sorts of chemicals, everything, and they were just booming business, and they have a big campus over there, and so many people were working over there, and everyone and the children, because why I'm quoting FSCT is the children from those places, they were studying with me while I was studying in Cochin. So they were all very jubilant, and they had cars. Those days, it was a time when ambassador cars were there, and they used to have a chauffeur. Why I'm explaining this is I have seen a decline. They lost jobs and everything. I really feel that is because that particular place where the factory was located was near a river, and all the effluents it was going on to the river without even not proper, maybe they are doing some kind of recycling or cleaning up, but I'm sure that it was polluting, and people were all against it, and they just half of the society lived there got cancer. So I really feel that it was lack of corporate governance and is this kind of ESG things which was not properly looked into it, and there was no proper auditing. That is what I feel. Maybe as a non-looker I can say, but they can show it in papers. Maybe they have everything in papers, but this is proved. This is proven that they haven't. If it has been done in the proper manner, why it was polluting the river so much? You cannot even look into that river. It was very like so you could see the pebbles 25 years back. Now you cannot even, it is dark. It is like a slushy mud and all sorts of dirt. So it's evident. As a commoner, it is evident to me, right? So I really feel that at this era, now everything is evolved. This is a very good initiative, and corporate governance, it should not be in paper. It should be really giving back to the society also is a very, very crucial thing in the growth of a company.
Absolutely, Ms. Aga. And that story really brings governance to life. You did not just talk about rules, you showed us how integrity plays in the real world and in high pressure moments. And that makes the conversation feel tangible and urgent, not abstract.
Really, because it was emotional too, because my friend, she lost her father who was a chemist in FSCT, so that is why I wanted to narrate the story to the audience, if at all someone is listening.
So, Ms. Aga, this brings us to the last question of the podcast. And since you have been associated with Directors Institute, a World Council of Directors, let me ask you, what drew you to it and how has it changed the way you think about leadership and governance?
Let me tell how I detected this course. It is through a very good video of someone coming and talking across about what are you going to do in Directors Institute and how the world leadership way of thinking should change. So I got really attracted to it, and then I browsed how it is going, what it does, and I found it incredibly the materials and the talks and everything. Whatever if you type, it just pop up. I was quite amazed at the thing whatever they have conceptualized, and let me tell you, I read the introduction part of it written by the managing director. It is written that let this particular course be a Man Friday. I really I love literature, and that particular one sentence itself. I was bang on into it. I am just going to do this. Let me carve out my leadership skills and let me make myself a man Friday. I am not going to be the particular company, right? I am the man Friday for the company. So I was really thinking, you know, what a vision it is. People who are going to do this, and if anyone is thinking about doing this particular course, they should really enroll it even today. I've already told my spouse that he also have to do this because this is a very incredible journey, and you can chisel yourself. See, this past 30 years, I was chiseling myself on my contract skills or IP law. I was just updating it. I didn't know how the skills should be brushed up and polished, and I need to present this particular skills in a particular mold to the industry or to the leaders. And me as a leader only, I can guide the leaders over there. That's what I feel. And the Directors Institute, they are very doing it in a very professional manner, and these are not the words for just the podcast. I really feel it, and I just comes from my mind. I don't use hard what is it, crude or any language for that. As Albert Einstein once told, if you cannot explain what you understood in small sentences and good comprehensive words, then that means you didn't understand what it is. So I understood what this is. So, in my own words, I have just explained. It is an incredible course and it is very good. I'm very happy, and I'm very happy that I have stumbled upon this. And in coming days, I will be getting more insights about it. I'm really happy that I could take this course up to my level. I'm sure it will chisel me up again.
Saga, that was such a fascinating peek behind the curtains of global leadership. And hearing how Directors Institute reshaped your perspective makes the journey feel real, not just theoretical.
Thank you so much, Sunny. And it was really nice to even have a conversation with you, because I do my podcast, but I just don't interview anyone. I just keeping talking to the audience. And when someone is listening to me and asking me questions, it was really delightful. It's really rocking too. Good. Thank you so much.
Ms. Aga, let me tell you, this has been such an enlightening conversation. And, from negotiating across continents to mentoring through storytelling, you have shown us that law isn't just about clauses and contracts. It's about clarity, it's about courage and conscience.
Thank you so much. And I hope that this journey will be continued and my storytelling too will be chiseled after the course again.
Absolutely. And what truly stood out today is your blend of discipline and humanity, how you use intellect not to dominate, but to empower. So, thank you so much for sharing your stories and insights with us today.
Thank you so much.
And to our listeners, I am your host, Sunny Pancholi, and this has been FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm signing off for now. Until next time, stay curious, keep leading, and lead with integrity. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.